In a secluded monastery nestled between two silent mountains, a wise master taught his disciples the importance of balance, both in the outer world and within oneself. His teachings were profound, and monks traveled from distant lands to learn from him. One day, a novice monk arrived at the monastery with a heavy heart. He seemed distracted during meditation sessions and often sat alone, gazing at the horizon. Observing this for a few days, the master approached the monk with a delicate, translucent jar. "This," he said, "is the jar of whispers. Whenever something burdens your heart, whisper it into this jar and seal it." Grateful, the monk began to do just that. Every time he felt a pang of sadness, anger, or confusion, he'd whisper his feelings into the jar. As days turned into weeks, the monk found solace in this newfound confidant. However, over time, the weight of the jar grew, becoming increasingly heavier, even though it looked as empty as the day the master had given it to him. One evening, as the monk struggled to carry the now heavy jar back to its shelf, the master entered his quarters. "It seems the jar of whispers has become quite burdensome," he observed. The monk nodded. "Yes, master. It feels as though it's filled with stones, yet it appears empty. I don't understand." The master beckoned the monk to follow him. They climbed to the highest balcony of the monastery, which overlooked a vast, serene lake. The full moon cast a silvery glow, making the water shimmer like a vast mirror. "Open the jar," the master instructed. The monk did as told. The moment the jar was unsealed, whispers echoed, carrying with them the weight of unspoken emotions, regrets, and suppressed feelings. The sounds swirled around them before being carried away by the gentle mountain breeze, disappearing into the night. "Every emotion, every unsaid word you stored in the jar added weight to it," the master began. "Similarly, when we suppress our feelings and avoid expressing our emotions, they accumulate within us, becoming burdens that weigh heavily on our souls." Tears forming in his eyes, the monk said, "I've been holding on to pain from my past, unresolved conflicts, and unexpressed feelings, thinking that by not speaking of them, they'd vanish." The master placed a comforting hand on the monk's shoulder. "Remember, silence can be a sanctuary, but it can also be a prison. Just as the jar needed to be opened to release the whispers, we too need to express our feelings to free our spirit." From that day, the monk not only practiced meditation, but also the art of expression. He journaled, conversed with fellow monks, and whenever he felt the weight of unspoken emotions, he'd climb to the balcony, releasing his feelings into the vastness of the mountains. The jar of whispers found a permanent place on that very balcony. Monks and travelers were encouraged to whisper their burdens and then unseal the jar, letting the mountains and winds carry their weight away. And so, in the heart of the mountains, the tale of the jar of whispers served as a gentle reminder. If you're not speaking it, you're storing it, and the weight of the unspoken can indeed become heavy. The moral lesson of the story is that, in the recesses of silence, while it offers solace, there lies a potential trap of storing unspoken emotions and unresolved conflicts. These suppressed feelings, much like the weight in the jar of whispers, accumulate over time, creating an unseen but palpable burden on the soul. The master's lesson to the monk, and in turn to all of us, is the importance of expression. By giving voice to our feelings, whether through words, art, or other outlets, we prevent them from becoming weights that tether our spirit. True freedom, both mental and emotional, often lies in the act of honest expression and letting go.